Big Board Podcast Network.
Welcome into the Dynasty Big Board, part of the Rookie Big Board Podcast Network. I'm your host, Anthony Carenti, joined by my co-hosts, Ryan Searfoss and Eric Adams. Gentlemen, how are we feeling today?
Good, man. It's projection season.
All right, Brian, I'm going to tell you right now, turn up your volume a little bit. And I'm just going to keep talking right now because I'm trying to get comfortable in my chair and I don't want Matt to yell at me. Okay, I'm comfortable now. I'm swell. Ant, how are you today?
I'm doing good. Kind of like you guys alluded to, we are going to we're getting into projection season. And on today's show, we're going to be discussing, I think, the first 5 rookies that we'll talk about projections for before we kind of dive into team by team, division by division stuff. So yeah, give a little bit of previews for projections for 2 of the top running backs and 3 of the top receivers from the 2022 NFL draft class. Before we get into today's topic, we just want to make sure to remind you that you can gain gain access to Rookie Big Board premium content at patreon.com/the FF Educator. This includes our consensus dynasty rankings, Devy rankings, access to our engaging and active Discord channel, and the ability to ask us for personalized advice on trades, your roster, and much more. So for as low as $3 a month, you get a ton of great content. The Discord alone is worth it. And make sure to head on over to patreon.com/the FF Educator to do so. So let's talk some of these rookie projections. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to like the video, comment below what you think of some of these rookies that we're going to talk about today. Let's kick things off by talking New York Jets running back Breece Hall. Ryan, why don't you kick us off? What do you got Breece Hall statted out for? How does the linchpin of the New York Jets juggernaut offense that's going to bulldoze the Baltimore Ravens week 1? What is Breece Hall looking like for you?
So week 1, I have it 23 carries for 15 yards. But the rest of the season, it comes around pretty good. Now, I have him with 55% of the rushing market share, which is high for the league in general for me. So it ends up being 239 attempts, 1,004 yards. So he's averaging 4.2 a pop, catching another 15 balls for 189 yards, 8 rushing touchdowns, 1 receiving touchdown.
4.2 a pop, huh? So you think he's garbage?
I think he's good.
Ryan hates Breece Hall.
All right, so Ryan hates Breece Hall.
He got some tough teams he plays on a regular basis against the run, a.k.a. Buffalo, New England twice a year, and probably Miami.
Oh, man. All right. Well, what was the yardage?
1,004.
Okay, as long as he's over 1,000, you don't hate him too much. And he's your guy. You go.
I'm not super far off there. I have him with 52% of the rushing market share. So it works out it works out to 212 attempts. I have him at 4.8 yards a rush. So he's just over 1,000, 1,018 on the ground, 9 rushing touchdowns, 61 targets, 38 catches for 284 through the air, and another 1 receiving touchdown. So I have him getting the lion's share of the work, but Michael Carter still mixing in a fair amount.
Ryan, how many targets you give him?
That's what I feel like. I had 22 targets for him.
All right, so Ryan has 22. I have 46. And you said 60 something?
Yeah, I gave him 61 targets compared to Michael Carter's 67 targets.
Before I go, what do you have Carter's rush market share at?
I have his rushing market share at 30%.
27.
And how many attempts does that run out to?
122.
117.
Ryan, 117. All right, I got him at 100. So we're about on board with the same rush market share for him. I have Breece Hall at 4.5 a carry. Thank you very much. 10 rushing touchdowns because I don't think he's a scrub. 1,044 yards on 232 attempts. I gave him 46 targets, 32 receptions, 227 yards through the air, and 2 receiving touchdowns. Got a 231.6 fantasy points. That probably puts him somewhere around like low RB2 range, if I had to guess. I haven't done all my projections, so
my 8 rushing touchdowns I have for him is 2 more than all the running backs combined for last year.
Yeah, well, 2 more than all the running backs combined from the Jets. Yeah. Well, the Jets running backs last year were garbage.
Truly.
Breece Hall is an actual NFL running back. Let me tell you something right now, people. The people with Michael Carter, every time he comes up, I'm going to drill this home. He is not a problem to Breece Hall. He is not even in the equation to stop Breece Hall from getting these carries.
He's a problem. He's a problem to Breece Hall, like Nyheim Hines is a problem for Jonathan Taylor, and that's not a problem at all.
I think that's like his absolute best case scenario. I don't even think he's better than Nyheim Hines. I think he's a little below Nyheim Hines. So the people who want to like drill that home that Michael Carter could possibly be the starter, man, you are not going to do well in fantasy football this year.
0.0% chance.
Yeah.
Like anybody clinging to hope that Michael Carter was the guy, just follow what the team's telling you. If Michael Carter is the guy, every time they tried to treat him like the guy last year, he ended up banged up. And I like Michael Carter. And by
look at a picture of Breece Hall in his workout shorts. Okay, that's all you need to know. Michael Carter looks like a Oompa Loompa compared to Breece Hall. Are you kidding me? Breece Hall looks like a bull.
To be fair, not like this is mind-blowing numbers, but I didn't throw like Michael Carter in the trash. I don't know if you guys like finished projecting him out, and not to turn this into a Jets thing, but I still gave Michael Carter over 500 yards on the ground and 370 receiving yards.
Yeah, I have 1,000 total yards in scrimmage.
Yeah.
I have 500 rushing and 511 receiving. 468 targets.
400 rushing, 324 receiving. So like 724. Which is, I don't know, 137 points. I don't really see, without the projections being done, I won't know where that is. But
yeah,
I'd imagine that's not high.
But I guess it's
not top 36.
Yeah, I guess the biggest takeaway is we all have Hall over 1,000 yards and like threatening for double-digit touchdowns or getting double-digit touchdowns, either combined between rushing and receiving, or in Eric's case, having double-digit rushing touchdowns and then still mixing in with some more receiving work. Let's talk the running back who just went a couple spots behind him in the NFL draft, Seattle Seahawks running back Kenneth Walker III. So, Eric, why don't you kick us off with what you have? Old Ken Walker's stat line looking like for the Seahawks.
Don't do him like that. Don't do Kenneth like that.
Come on, I keep seeing Ken places. Maybe he wants to be Ken.
What if let's be Kenny?
Kenny Walker?
He's just fun.
Kenny Walker is better than Ken Walker.
Kenny Walker kind of sounds like a country singer. I don't know.
A little bit, yeah.
But anyways, 52% of the market share, because I don't believe in anybody else in this backfield. 223 rushing attempts, 1,028 yards, 8 touchdowns, 4.6 a carry. And then, the receiving work, people who are pounding the table saying he can catch are not going to like me right now. I only gave him 19 targets. He catches 15 of them. He has 122 yards, no receiving touchdowns. It's a thing where, like, until I see it, I'm not going to project him out. I'm not just going to throw caution to the wind and be like, you know what? I think he's got 60 targets and 40 catches in him. Like, no, I need to see him do it first. So
that's fair. Ryan, what do you have?
I have him at 34% of the rushing market share. 711 yards, 5 touchdowns, 37 targets, 192 yards, no receiving touchdowns.
So do you have Penny?
I
Is it Penny or Carson?
I have Penny with 25, Carson with 15, and DJ Dallas being an annoying 10. Like, I don't know, man. I want it to be Kenneth Walker. He'd have huge numbers if we knew it was him for sure. But Pete Carroll, man.
The one I know will not be a problem. Carson having a neck surgery, dude, tells me all I kind of need to know about Chris Carson. I don't think they should really rush him at all.
No,
I think that should be an easy sequence.
He only has 66 rush attempts for me.
Yeah. I only have him at 64 as well. I'm not messing around with a neck injury. I would make sure he is fully ready to come back. I know Chris Carson's built like a brick shit house, but like I'm a little more cautious about him. And
Yeah.
look, I put Penny low, but like I feel like they're going to go into training camp trying to push Rashad Penny as the guy. I will say this though, I want to check up on Mr. Carson and Mr. Penny, and guess what? Guess who already has a hamstring injury in mini camp? Rashad Penny.
Yeah. Dude. I said I have 111 carries, and you know what? They're probably going to come in a 5-game span, and he's not going to play that. Like he's gonna have like a stretch, and that's it. But
yeah, there's a real shot of that. I gave Walker, let's see, 49% of the market. It's 233 attempts for me, and 1,050 on the ground, 4.5 yards a carry, and 7 rushing touchdowns. I gave him kind of a weird. Not I didn't give him no receiving work, but I gave him 43 targets, 23 catches. So that's 142 yards and 1 touchdown. We'll see if he's got it in him. The difference between Hall and Walker for me is obviously the receiving work. I think Hall, I trust that that's going to come for Hall, where I think it's a bit of a, not a bit of a stretch, but just more of a projection right now for Walker. But I'm not really worried about it. It sucks, but I'm not worried about Carson. I agree. I have him penciled in for 70 carries right now. And, hopefully he's healthy. I have Rashad Penny penciled in for like 150, but I don't feel great about that either.
Yeah, but I'm at 111. They're not like we have no real idea on them. This is one of the hardest people to stat out. I actually did him today because I've been just pushing off Seattle because we have so many questions.
I do think they're going to try and run the ball like incessantly. Like I think they're going to be painfully committed to it at times.
Yeah. I think if Geno's the quarterback, which we were talking about before the show, is that I think that helps the running backs more than Drew Lock. But I trust nothing here.
Yeah, it's a strange situation to say the least. And obviously we'll get into the rest of the notable rookie running backs when we shift to doing team by team stuff. But let's talk some of these top 3 receivers that we looked at for this episode's sake and kick things off with Drake London, Atlanta Falcons wide receiver Drake London. I gave the Falcons. That's a team that this was an emotional roller coaster to project out. I gave London 20% of the receiving market. It was 105 targets, 70 receptions for 890 yards and 7 touchdowns. So I think the majority of the receiving work here will be funneled through London and Kyle Pitts, with Kyle Pitts obviously being the guy. But I think London's going to have a promising rookie season. I think he'll be kind of the leader in targets behind Pitts. They're the only 2 right now that I have on this team eclipsing 100 targets.
Yeah, I have him at 90% of the market share, 110 targets, 805 yards, 5 touchdowns. So, I mean, startable. And if I keep disappearing, so my dog's just crying in the back. I don't know if you can hear him or not. It's just a real low whimper, and it's driving me bananas. But yeah,
he wants more for Drake London. That's why.
He does want more for Drake London.
He told me he wanted Drake London 1,000 yards. I said, bro, it's the Falcons.
I said, bro, it's the Falcons.
Yeah, look, all right, so I'm the lowest on him, I guess. 18% of the market share because, Alamedi, Zach Zucchini has to get his catches. Drake London, 99 targets, 59 receptions, 712 yards, and 6 touchdowns. Yeah, look, unless Kyle Pitts, Drake London, and Cordero Patterson are the greatest trio in NFL history, this offense is going to suck eggs. That's the word I'll go with. I almost said another word. I didn't say the other word. It sucks eggs. It's bad. Whether it's Mariota, I statted out Ritter because, screw it. Like, this is bad. This is just all bad.
I hope he's a garbage time warrior, if we're to be honest.
That's got to be, like, your biggest, like, hope. I don't understand how Well,
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And a resounding yes from the
Yeah.
crowd.
They're going to be behind a lot, and they're going to try and throw the ball successfully. The problem is the guys they have can't throw the ball successfully.
They're better.
I don't understand how somebody feels good about Drake London right now. Like, it has nothing to do with his like talent. It's just like, what are you going on here? Is it just blind faith? What do you just think they're going to be a juggernaut on offense? I'd be
They're a
if you
bad
took
football
Drake
team.
London at like, what is it, 1-4? You probably had to take him, or 1-5. How do you
Dude.
feel good about that? You're basically saying, all right, well, I'm going to be waiting at least a year here on London, because there's no way it comes out all peachy cheeks.
But do you feel good about it if, say, you're a bad team, right? Like a full-blown rebuild team, and you drafted London at 104, and I don't know, what if he gets CJ Stroud next year? Or
I'd be fine with it then. Like I said, if you took
just
him,
got to be cool with the
Yeah.
maybe
You
not
just-
immediate payoff.
you have to expect that, this offense is what it is at this point. It's going
You know what?
to take at least a year.
They can throw the ball a lot this year. They're
Poorly,
really
though.
good.
Poorly.
Huh? Well,
Poorly.
yeah, that's
Throw the
fine.
ball poorly.
Well, we've seen bad quarterbacks on bad offenses help guys have one or two guys produce.
I think saying this is bad quarterbacks is
Understand.
offensive to bad quarterbacks. Is where we're at right now.
I could see them kind of doing the same annoying thing that I kind of expect the Seahawks to do, where I think at times like they'll be like painfully committed to running the ball. Like I have them throwing the ball less times than a season ago and running the ball substantially more than a year ago. I think they're going to really try and get committed to that because they don't have anybody at quarterback.
But somehow their running back situations as bad, if not worse, than their pass catching situation.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. Like London and Pitts is a good duo, and I'm interested to see what they get out of Algier.
And their defenses don't give up 40 a game. Like,
I don't know if the defense is that bad.
Dude,
I can only name one player, but it's not that bad.
Who is that? Deion Jones, who's suspended for the year?
I can name two. He's suspended for the year?
Wait, I missed that. When did that happen?
Maybe it's not the year. I know he got. Hold on.
I was thinking about AJ Terrell. I completely forgot about Deion Jones. Yeah, he's very good.
Yeah, Deion Jones is awesome. Yeah, oh, sorry. Where is that? I gotta find it. I thought he was suspended for like indefinitely.
God, I hope not. No, that was Ridley. Ridley's gone for the year.
Yeah, don't stat out Ridley.
Because he can't stop gambling.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the thing. They reported that the Falcons moving on from Deion Jones is imminent. That was it. Sorry about the suspension, but yeah, him being out of there though is.
Why would they move on from him?
I don't know. Falcons linebackers not participating in OTAs.
He probably wants to get paid.
Or off-season workouts from his shoulder surgery. He's not doing it. He's not a cleanup surgery. He just didn't show up. Dude,
well, the way to get better in the Falcons' case, the way to get better is to, move on from one of the best linebackers in the league when he's that young. That's a good call.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
Casey Hayward's good for being over the hill.
We've been saying Casey Hayward's good for like 4 years too long.
Yeah, probably.
We got to stop. Terrell is good. AJ Terrell's really good.
Well, Casey Hayward's their third best player on defense.
That says it all.
Second if Deion Jones is out. Yeah, dude, they're going to give him 40. They're going to give him 50 a game.
They might.
Good luck, Atlanta.
Yes.
You just
take your pick and
get your quarterback next year and be happy.
Yeah, start getting fitted for your CJ Stroud or Bryce Young jerseys and just argue about which one of them you want for the next year.
It'll be fun. It's great.
Yeah. Arguments are always fun. All right, two more receivers we have on the list to talk about. They were college teammates. Let's get back to talking Jets. It's one thing we don't do enough. We don't talk enough Jets on this podcast. This is a Jets centric episode.
Welcome to Locked On New York Jets.
Garrett Wilson. Ryan, what do you have Garrett Wilson penciled in as? Is he the lead guy, second fiddle? What do you have him stacking up at for the Jets?
At a 12% market. I'm just kidding now.
It was about to get upset on this podcast.
It was about to get real upset. I have him at an 18% market share. So 103 targets, 891 yards, 6 touchdowns.
Eric, what do
Very
you got?
respectable.
Yeah, respectable. A little low.
Dude, I project that. Everybody's always projected low.
I
We
know.
don't realize this yet. I
I
hate
know.
everybody.
But screw that. I have him at 20% of the market share. He's over 1,000 yards on
Let's
116 targets, 71 receptions. He leads the Jets. 14 yards a catch. I got him at 8 touchdowns. I think Zach Wilson's going to love him. Absolutely love him.
My heart is very full at this moment.
I started out the Jets pretty well, man. I give the Jets some numbers here.
I was a little more cautious, not like down on Garrett Wilson, but I gave him 18% of the market. It was 110 targets, 67 catches for 860 and 4 scores.
Wow, why do you hate him? Why is the Jets fan the lowest on him?
I'm not. It's not that I am low on him. I think people are totally maybe writing off Corey Davis a little too fast. I think Corey Davis is still going to be a thing this year.
I got Corey Davis with 12%.
I have Braxton Berrios out getting more targets than Corey Davis.
Yeah, see, I do not. I have Corey Davis getting 104 targets.
I have him at 68. I have Elijah Moore.
That's Elijah Moore's role there, buddy.
I have Elijah Moore getting 128 targets.
How many times do you think you're going to throw the ball this year?
612.
I have at 603, so that's actually not that. Oh, wait. No.
They threw the ball 603 last year.
I have 580. I have 580.
I have Uzama getting a little bit into that next a good bit too.
I have the majority of the Jets passing game. I have Wilson, Moore, and Corey Davis all over 100 targets. I think the rest will be kind of evenly distributed between the running backs and the 2 tight ends. I do have Berrios with 62 targets.
I gave him 81 because he's the best.
51.
He's the bestest, nicest guy. I do think I do think this kind of stuff gets overblown, but like him and Zach are boys. Like there's a
they got a
trust thing there right now. So
yeah. I like it though. I like it. This is a solid offense. This offense is going to surprise some people as long as Wilson continues to make his strides. Yeah. After they destroy Baltimore in week 1, everyone will be on notice.
Garrett Wilson. Just remember, after week 1, Garrett Wilson has 6 targets with 0 catches.
I don't know, man.
They get low ball offers for him.
Who on your team is covering Garrett Wilson? The guy who got burnt by the rookies last year in Humphrey, or the one who was not playing last year in Peters?
Marlo was hurt last year.
Oh, that's what we're gonna go with.
Yeah,
what I'm gonna go with.
I hope for your sake he was hurt.
They're probably gonna put MPG span on him. To be honest, it's probably gonna be Marcus Peters
on Wilson.
Yeah, honestly, I don't think they're not gonna shadow. At all in Baltimore.
That's a tough assignment for week 1 for Peters.
Here's what I know.
That's a good match.
Is that if the Jets come out and trounce the Ravens week 1, this podcast is going to be electric. And if they don't, I'm just not going to do it. If they don't, I'm just not going to do it. I'm just not going to do it.
I'm showing up next week.
Either way, the podcast will have two hosts that week. There's way too much time for us to hate on each other before this game.
All right, let's close this episode out talking by Garrett Wilson's college teammate Chris Olave. I guess we'll save Eric for last because I think
I guess we'll save me for last.
Yeah, I guess we'll save Eric for last. He seemed pre-show like he was gonna be the highest on him. So
go ahead, Jameis fans, go ahead. Let's see what you got here.
I gave Olave 17% of the market. It was
17?
Yes. 90 targets, 56 catches, 14.5 a catch, 800 yards, 805, and 6 touchdowns. Ryan, you have the floor.
Okay. I have Chris Olave at a 16% market share.
Oh, Eric's going to bury us.
What in the world?
84 targets. Hold on. Just figured one little adjustment because things didn't match up, so that's fine. 695 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Ooh. He didn't even give him the yards I gave him.
I love Chris Olave, but
doesn't sound like
clearly
it.
Not.
Doesn't sound like it.
Clearly not.
But I do.
How many times do you have them throwing the ball, both of you?
527.
530.
If Jameis is such a good quarterback, why are we throwing so little?
He's playing an efficiency game now these days. Sorry, I couldn't even get through it without laughing.
That was a beautiful swerve. I love that. Oh man, guys.
What do you got Olave for?
21% of the market share, because I don't know who the hell you have them thrown to. Like, what are we going to give targets to Marquez Callaway or Traquan Smith for the 5th year and hope? No.
Michael Thomas and Jarvis Landry.
Yeah, I did give some to
Jarvis Landry.
You really don't think Jarvis Landry's going to get targets there?
I think Jarvis Landry is slower than molasses at this point.
He is.
Like, he is a snail. I think they're going to see Chris Olave on the field, the same field with Jarvis Landry in training camp, and they're going, we are not playing that guy over this guy. There's no way.
They can't report Jarvis Landry shredding everybody at OTAs.
Oh, yeah. That's
shredding.
Okay, OTAs. That's fun. He didn't even show up to OTAs, Ryan. Shut up. Chris Olave, 21% of the market share, 115 targets, 75 receptions, 976 yards, and 8 touchdowns, because I actually do like Chris Olave. Jarvis Landry.
Did you give Jarvis Landry any targets?
No.
None.
I did. But come on, like really? Oh no.
I haven't. If Michael Thomas is
Are you telling me you have Jarvis Landry as the second wide receiver on that team? The wide receiver
I do. Yeah, I do right now.
Yeah.
Not by much.
You know.
All right. More importantly, what do we have Jameis statted out for?
Yeah, that's what I want to hear right now.
I have Jameis with 4,206 yards, 30 touchdowns, 18 interceptions. Efficient.
18 interceptions. That's not efficient.
Hey, this is a guy who threw 30 once.
This is Jameis. This
That's
is
a 12-pick improvement right there.
I have him 3,900 yards, 3,920 yards, 25 touchdowns, 14 picks.
All right, so you both really hate him. Okay.
Are you the Jameis guy?
Did not expect to become the Jameis guy on this podcast, but I guess that's happening now.
This is great.
550 attempts because it's Jameis. 4,342 yards, 30 touchdowns, and 9 picks. I basically have Jameis as an MVP candidate here.
You really do. You got to bump those picks up.
You got to bump those picks up.
He only threw 3 in 6 games. I mean,
that's true. He's found.
And like you said, we're playing the efficiency game here.
We're playing the short game.
That's what's happening now.
You upset my dog with this.
All right. Well, anything that we want to wrap up with these 5 guys we talked about today before we spend probably a lot of the foreseeable future getting into projections on a team-by-team basis and diving into each individual team a little bit further?
Well, which one do you feel the best about? I guess it's the one you statted out the highest. Which one are you feeling?
Out of the receivers?
Out of the receivers, yeah. We'll start there.
I'd say Garrett Wilson.
Same.
I'll agree with that.
I just think that he is in like I don't know, even though he's got Davis, Berrios, Elijah Moore out there, I think, Eric, like you said, I think Wilson will really love him. And I don't think there's a lot of like projecting what he can do in this offense. Like, I think they're going to ask him to do a lot of the same stuff Ohio State asked him to do. And I think that'll probably prove to be a pretty seamless transition for him.
Okay. And
what about the run?
Backs?
Huh? What do you say? The
running backs. Hall or Walker?
Hall.
Yeah.
It's Hall for me.
Yeah, it's Hall for me too.
Yeah, it's not not that close.
If Walker hits the ground running and they confirm that he'll be the guy right away, which I don't expect to happen at all.
Could be huge.
Yeah, that might change my
because if that does happen, as much as we said, like, oh, it's crazy to think Michael Carter is going to threaten Breece Hall. If that does happen and Kenneth Walker like runs away with it early, I feel like Kenneth Walker could run away from any competition from, Rashad Penny or Chris Carson more than Hall could distance himself between Michael Carter, because Michael Carter will have a role.
He has the role. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. So that'll be interesting to watch.
If Kenneth Walker can get up to 50% of the rushing market share for me, or maybe 45, he passes Hall. Like
I
just
had
kind of
him.
like just like messing with us a little bit, like a little bit over 45 puts him right there.
If I were Seattle, I would run Kenneth Walker into the ground.
Well, yeah, obviously. That's their. Well,
Yeah, I mean, just from a rushing yard standpoint, I gave Walker more rushing yards on the ground. The difference from fantasy points is I give Hall the receiving work that I don't have Walker getting right now.
Yep.
And if that, like, I don't know, if he comes out and just takes all the rushing work and it's something where, we're talking about a rookie year where he ends up putting up 1,200 yards or 1,300 yards, some like crazier things have happened than at the running back position. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Happens more often than we think. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how much he can distance himself from what's left of Chris Carson and Rashad Penny through training camp and preseason and all that stuff.
I mean, he's a better running back. He's a better running back than Penny.
Yeah,
I
for
would
sure.
hope so.
In general.
I would hope so.
Chris Carson's a good back. Like, I can't disparage Chris Carson, but his health's scary.
Yeah.
Like Chris Carson has just thwarted all competition when he's been on the field, and it's not even close.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with
Chris Carson.
what I think of him as the player. It's totally what I like. The health was concerning before the neck stuff. Like he was getting dinged up
Beat
the
up.
past couple seasons. So
Because they run him into the ground with no offensive line.
Yep.
And Freddie Swain is wide receiver 1.
Freddie Swain,
Overall.
wide receiver 1 in your programs and in your hearts.
Yes.
So just wait till we get to the Seahawks show. It's just a half-hour episode of Freddie Swain. We're not even talking about the rest of the players on that
It's
roster.
going to be almost as big as the T2 Atwell show.
Freddie and Tutu getting their own episodes.
Just kidding. That episode's going to be light.
All right, well, that's going to do it for this one. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Dynasty Big Board, part of the Rookie Big Board podcast network. We're going to be back with more of the Dynasty Big Board next week. But be sure to tune in tomorrow to hear from our friends on the Devy Big Board, and we'll talk to you guys then.
Later, taters.